Hey, boys and girls. It's time for Uncle Jay Explains the News. Now here's the guy who helps little minds understand big news stories, Uncle Jay.
Hi, boys and girls, and happy Easter, and Earth Day, and Take Your Kids to Work Day, and Royal Wedding Day, and Space Shuttle Day, and I Can't Afford a Tank of Gas for More Than a Day. And even though it's a little early for summer reruns, Lindsay Lohan in jail for less than half a day. Well, Uncle Jay's news word for this week is a small word that gets bigger every day. App. This is the word that people apply to computer software, and that appeals to just about everybody. For instance, last week, President Obama went to the headquarters of Facebook for kind of a rally. You know, the presidency is such a stuffy, old-fashioned thing, and if he can find new ways to communicate with tech-savvy voters, that would be easier for him to talk about than how things are going for him. People who use smartphones are right now very unhappy with Apple, iPhones, and the makers of other mobile devices too, because it's been confirmed that these things record the data of everywhere you go. And this bothers many Americans who think that their privacy still exists. And if it bothers you and you want the government to know how you feel about it, just say so. Anytime. Well, in another part of the world, the Mideast, the news there is appalling. And we all know why. In Syria, things are getting worse every day. And in Libya, NATO and the UN are still trying to overthrow Colonel Gaddafi, but in a very nice way. They're being very diplomatic, just inviting him to retire gracefully. And they're not attacking him. They're just leaving weapons around to see if anybody might think of something to do with them. Ask your parents how that worked out in the 80s in Afghanistan. Well, in the world of computing last week, for more than one, things got quite for some of the biggest names in the business. Many of Amazon's client servers went down, and so did Sony PlayStation's entire network. Some people had to look to old-fashioned ways of getting things done, and even worse, some people had to look at each other. And now it's time to answer one of your news questions this week. It comes from Thomas in Graham, Texas. Hi, Thomas. Thomas writes, Dear Uncle Jay, I'm confused about what they call the debt ceiling. Do they keep all those IOUs of our debt in some huge room where they have to keep raising the ceiling to fit more slips of paper? Thanks, Thomas. No, the debt ceiling is an imaginary thing that everybody agrees to pretend is real, just like the idea of paying off the debt. China has been covering most of America's debt, and if we can't manage it better, boys and girls, China just might, as the old saying goes, have us by the bills. Don't forget, you can see more and send your questions at UncleJayExplains.com. Check back every Monday when Uncle Jay explains the news. And remember, a great kid is great news.